All right. When last we left off, the group had just escaped the abyss after encountering a new companion by the name of Silent Chance and helping him, as it turns out, fulfill a job for Blackwell. Um, After tracking down the elven necromancer uh, and seeing her brought to whatever end it was that she experienced at Blackwell's hands, you were all subsequently teleported back to the prime material plane. And as the sensation of weightlessness that kind of accompanies this teleportation process settles, you find yourselves in what is, to many of you, a familiar and very opulent living room. You're standing facing a large fireplace, and you see the cloaked shape of Lord Innes Blackwell step out of the teleportation circle near the center of the room where you all are, and turn to, well, greet you, welcome you to his house. So, I think as everyone is still getting situated and kind of regaining their bearings after the teleportation, he is going to jump right into a conversation and say, so, it would seem that all parties here have been endeavoring to fulfill their ends of their respective bargains. Though it seems perhaps I overestimated the abilities of one. I mean, I show up in the abyss expecting a corpse, and I find someone subdued, tied to a tree, not only not dead, but it would seem you required the assistance of how many more people?
As we chased her down in the forest, this one here, and I point to Kogar, shouted not to kill her for whatever reason. Not wanting to upset many more people, I, at the very least, tied her up for you. Figured we
Calm
wouldn't
yourself, Cat. I'm merely enjoying making you sweat for a moment. Though, and he turns to Togar, if I ask for someone dead, you do well not to countermand that order. Fair?
Fair enough.
So, the rest of you, while I may not have a book in hand as was agreed upon, the news did reach me earlier today of the drastic changes taking place in Drake's Landing. It seems the undead have disappeared entirely, as have many of the living who walked with them. Well, the living haven't so much disappeared as withered away and, well, ceased to be living. I think I can send in a couple of my operatives to finish that job. Though you haven't presented me the book yourselves, you've certainly done enough to warrant my lifting of the spell that I placed on your friend. And with that, he sort of gestures over to Bungdo, and you see him wave a hand And if someone were here to get the narration, I would say that Bungo probably feels almost like a weight that he didn't know was on his shoulders suddenly lifted up and off. And at that point, Blackwell says, I think, he looks around the room, that makes us all even. However, I wouldn't be opposed to maintaining a more egalitarian relationship in the professional sense. I do have some other jobs should you find yourselves in need of resources or the like. But I think that may be a conversation for another time. Go out, get some rest, and if you're interested, perhaps come back tomorrow sometime and we'll discuss these things. Is there anything else you require of me before you take your leave?
Do you happen to have any charcoal, incense, or herbs for a spell that I could obviously purchase? But I don't. I know the guy in town doesn't sell magic stuff, so I figured you being, well, a fairly practiced in the arts, you may have some to spare.
He smirks and says, well, certainly not the request I was expecting, but I believe I can accommodate that request. He walks over to what look like about half a dozen small, like golden, I don't know, slightly larger than saucer-sized containers resting on his mantle. And he produces a small little fabric pouch from what looks like one of the interior pockets of his cloak, and kind of sprinkling a few things into the bag. You hear the snapping of a few sticks of incense. He walks over and just hands it to you.
And I'll say, and sorry for holding him off from killing her. It didn't quite register that you had wanted her dead. It was more that she had actually offered us stay in her house. And after wandering the abyss, we figured that might be a good idea. So I figured I'd get both stories before, really before making any action. So, but once you showed up, I realized that everything that one, and I gestured over towards the hell is your name? Silent?
Chance.
Chance. Gestured over towards Chance. Everything that one said was true, so I do apologize.
I wouldn't worry yourself about that, but I think it is a good thing that the lot of you met when you did. I hate to imagine what would have happened had you attempted to spend the night with that treacherous hag.
What did she do, if you don't mind me asking?
She dabbled in things that were, well, considerably beyond her depth. And suffice it to say, some minds are not to be trusted. with the sort of things that she became privy to.
She seemed quite practiced in the arts as well.
All the more dangerous, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. That spell that she used, that big hand, she did offer to teach that to me. But I know you said that there are better teachers. We can talk at a later date, but I would definitely be interested in learning that.
Very well. Yes, there are a great number of teachers that I would consider better, if only due to the fact that you would still be alive when morning came.
What would she have done?
You did see the company she kept, yes?
No.
The zombies.
Those were hers? They were dead on the ground when we showed up.
The
I
ones
took care of them.
inside.
I didn't see anything.
Oh, there's ones inside too.
Oh.
Yeah, basically there were 3 up on top of the tower, and then there were the 2 that Chance took care of before you showed up.
Did you ever say anything about them being up there?
You were on the dragon when the dragon got him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Fair enough, I suppose. And I do have some other business, but we can talk later. As you said, we definitely need a rest.
Very well. Did anyone else have any business they'd like to bring up before getting some rest?
I would actually. After
Yes.
spending a few days in that wretched place, feel a bit off. Is there by any chance something can happen just for being there?
Well, the Abyss is a vastly corrupting place. I would imagine that with time, you don't seem to be drastically changed. I would imagine over the course of a few days, it will probably disperse any remaining effects that you may be experiencing. It's good, though, that you were able to complete the mission in a somewhat timely manner.
Hmm.
Oh, one other thing. When you send your operatives out to secure the book, let them know that there may be a white werewolf wandering the forest. As long as they mention that they are friends of the group, or myself, he should do them no harm. He's an old friend.
That's intriguing.
He's also a potential ally.
I'm curious. Is that Becca laughing or is that Maya laughing? Both.
That's me laughing at how meta that sounded.
What do you mean?
Meta.
Right? Like meta. Can we work
Yeah.
on that for a minute? Meta.
Meta. Just, he's a potential ally.
Well, he is.
Yeah, it's just usually in life you don't say
sound
that.
very meta.
Exactly.
I mean, Blackwell is collecting allies.
It's just the way you said it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It just sounded funny.
Okay. I mean,
That's why I laughed.
DM, am I out of my bounds here? Or?
It's not meta in the sense of like this isn't something that you would know. It's like you're speaking like you know your D&D character, if that makes sense.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like it's like you just said something, and now on Blackwell's HUD, he just got like another little exclamation point that showed up.
Sorry, it's just the way.
Yeah, no, it's all right.
Request obtained, potential ally.
Yeah. um, but yeah, okay. So you tell him about his potential ally in the werewolf near Drake's Landing.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, just that he's not going to be a hinder, so he's a potential ally.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
But other than that, no. I'll just say, so what cities or what towns were affected? I know Perrin's pretty close. Was Perrin affected at all?
Not in the way that I think you mean. We certainly received a large wave of refugees as the initial um, incursion was going on, but most of them have been placed here or passed on to other surrounding settlements. The undead themselves did not seem to extend their influence far beyond Drake's Landing and the surrounding woods.
Well, that's good. Oh, here, and I'll pull out my sending stone, and I'll give it to Blackwell and say, we have the other one. This will help us keep in contact with each other a little easier.
Ah, very well. I don't suppose I'll be needing it, but should you need to establish contact with me, this will do nicely.
Speaking of which, do you want that other one back?
He says, well, I don't suppose there's reason to have two in the party. Well, I suppose I shouldn't jump to conclusions. Are you as close as you seem after only one mission together?
He's useful.
Or do you...
And quite effective at what he does.
He smiles and says, yes, that's what I've heard, and it would seem he's done all right for himself this time around.
Might I come a little earlier than the rest of the group tomorrow, just so we can discuss a few things, business opportunities.
I am a businessman.
As
I don't suppose you'd care to get into any detail now, would you?
I can. Well, I was thinking about, and I'll kind of look towards the rest of the group and say, I was thinking about returning to Thog Ladar for a while, and Bungdo came up with a decent idea that I would like to try to get started and kind of get it off the ground. And being that I'm fairly established in Thog Ladar, as well as have the ear of the general, or at least have the ability to have the ear or the audience of the general, I feel that I could be in a fairly good position to, obviously nothing too bad, but I could at least be able to aid in, starting a either like a merchanting business or a shipping business, as Mungdo wanted to do.
I may be interested in such an endeavor. I assume you'll need capital funds. That's what you're getting at, yes?
That and just maybe some aid from you, maybe some teaching, just a few pointers. I hate to succeed, or I hate to fail. I love succeeding. So any help to make sure that things are going smoothly would be greatly appreciated, and obviously would be beneficial to yourself as well.
Of course. Well, we can discuss terms at length later, but should you allow me the first right of purchase for anything that you may seek to fund, or I suppose first right of investment would be a proper term here. I will do everything in my power to ensure that... Whoa,
Echo.
you right there? Okay. He says, I'll do everything in my power to ensure the business succeeds, as where I put my money is where I put my attention.
Same here. I also was kickstarting a small microbrewery, in essence, and left my mom and dad in charge of that. As silly as it sounds, but my father's run my smithing shop for a while, at least since I've been traveling, and it hasn't had any major issues as of yet. So I'm just trying to spread out my ventures as much as I can, but
A wise choice, especially for one who seems about ready to take a break from this adventuring life that you and your party have been leading for some time now.
yeah. Once you travel to the Abyss, I mean, that's that's a third plane we've been to. I'm done with planes for a while. I'm ready to settle down and get back to perfecting my craft, and that also may interest you as well. That since I've studied and dabbled a little bit in the arcane, I may be able to create some useful items that especially somebody in your industry may find useful.
That is intriguing. Well, I suppose we'll have plenty to talk about when you arrive early tomorrow, then.
Indeed.
I look forward to it. Well, if that's everything, he kind of looks around at the party. I would invite you to take your leave and find some long-awaited and well-earned rest in a proper bed. And with that, you hear the creaking of the doors toward the back of the room as the two pretty burly, muscular-looking dudes by the doors have swung them open, and you see the long entry hall kind of extending out to the front doors that you all recognize. It's a place where, not more than a couple months ago, there was a very heated debate going on between some party members about whether Blackwell should be trusted, given what someone might think about him.
As we walk by that space, I kind of brush off my shoulder as in a way of just saying, yep, that's behind us.
I nod at Blackwell as I leave.
All right. He does the same.
I give a slight bow.
All right. Again,
Is
slight
Chance
bow of the head.
is Chance leaving with us?
It would seem so.
Alright, I'll look to Chance and I'll say, so if you're gonna travel with us, you gotta be a little more open than that, because I mean, honestly, I really don't want to have anything mess up my current business venture. And I'd really hate to have somebody coming after my head for something you've done.
What exactly would you like to know?
Well, number one, what do you do? Obviously, you were sent to kill that lady in the abyss. What are you, a professional killer?
Of sorts, yes. But I'm no longer in that business. That was my mission to get out.
And Blackwell got you out.
Yes.
What were you a professional killer of? Anyone?
It's a hitman. You pay them for a job. Doesn't matter what they kill.
I mean, I was a professional killer. And I just, killed to protect people.
Bounty hunter slash assassin. Also did some smuggling.
Smuggling. What did you smuggle?
Whatever was asked.
Do you have any tales or anybody that you've wronged in the past that might be coming back?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right, fair enough. I'll look to the rest
How
of the
many
group.
parsecs did you make the Kessel run in?
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's thinking that.
What?
How many parsecs did you make the Kessel run in?
I don't know what that's from.
Star Wars. You don't know Star Wars?
I don't remember that line.
Oh my goodness.
You're being nerd judged right now. Don't worry.
Which
It's
Star
a really
Wars?
famous line.
It's like a famous thing.
Especially
Han
because it
Solo,
doesn't
thank you.
make any sense.
It does make sense.
Anyway.
I mean, okay. It makes sense, that's all I'm saying. Alright, let's continue.
I'll look to the rest of the group to see if anybody objects
To which part?
to him joining us, or if anybody has anything to add. Any questions?
I'm good.
All right.
So what are you... I want to ask him what he's planning on doing now. Do you have any plans of what you're going to do now?
Wherever the winds take me, nothing in particular.
Okay.
Just wanted a change of scenery of sorts.
Any particular reason why?
Pretty much all I've done my whole life. I wanted to experience new things.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
So as you make your way out of the grand entrance hall of Blackwell's Manor, you look out and see. Looks as though the sun is just reaching the farther reaches in the west, and so you probably have about an hour or so of daylight still. Plenty of time to make it to downtown Perrin and find yourselves an inn and some food or whatever else you may want to do.
Refresh my memory. There was just the one store in Perrin, right?
I mean, I don't think it was ever established it was the only one, but I mean, you've only been to one proper store in Perrin. It's kind of like a general goods store.
All right. Well, I guess, are there any guards that I see, or any soldiers or anything?
Are we still talking about at Blackwell's estate, or are we going to assume you guys have made it to Perrin?
If nobody else says anything, I'm gonna assume to Perrin.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there are about what you'd expect. I mean, occasionally you see a single guard patrolling around. There are a couple posted at each entrance to the city. Nothing particularly heavy or oppressive in terms of guard presence.
All right, I'll just call one over and get one's attention and say, do you happen to know of? We're looking for the best inn in Perrin, and I'm also looking for a shop that would sell things of the magical variety.
Well, one of those is easy. The best inn in town is most definitely the Gleaming Eagle, right off the town square. A nice two-story place with a large dining hall and plenty of ale and wine to drink. As far as a place for magical items, kind of thinks on it and says, well, you could always try the general store. That's Startide Sundries. They kind of have a strange mix of things. Most of it not magical. But there is another place that just opened up on the outskirts of town. The Dragon's Emporium, I think it's called. Haven't been in there myself, but they seem to be a bit more focused on things of an arcane nature.
Okay. Thank you very much. And then, in this, atmosphere, do you tip somebody for that?
I mean, it's not necessarily expected, but it's not frowned upon either.
Alright, I'll slip him a gold for that.
Okay.
Eric,
Quick. Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but there's like a bank kind of thing that spans this continent, right? Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't think that's been properly established, but I mean, if you'd like to find, I'm guessing you're going for a money changer kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I would also not like to carry as much money on me as I am.
Yeah.
Well, we can discuss that with Blackwell. Maybe get a place here.
I could. But, before tomorrow, let's,
Alright.
Well, I mean, I guess we can wait until tomorrow.
Well, I figure we could go to a shop and see if they need change. See if they want to exchange some money around.
I don't think they have as much as we do.
No, but, I mean, we could spend some of this silver on supplies that we need.
We can go to several shops.
Yeah, we could just go buy the entire fucking town.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Shopping episode!
I mean, you do have a shit ton of money, so...
Yeah.
Now, refresh my memory. The Gleaming Eagle, was that the one that had Hofsteiger beer, or whatever it was called?
Uh oh, the beer from Hofsteiger. So you're talking about uh
Bjelgesen?
Bjelkesen,
Bjelkesen.
yes.
Yes. No, that was
That was
in Strassa.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, the
Gotcha.
double moon. Naloon's double moon.
Yep, I just literally just ran across that note. Okay. Alright. And I look to Maya and I say, well, how much more of that fucking starfruit do you have? Because we probably don't need all that starfruit anymore.
A lot.
I look to the... I look back to the guard and I go, never mind. And I'll just kind of head out towards the Gleaming Eagle.
Okay.
At that, I'll start passing out some starfruit.
Yeah, as you do that, you walk past a familiar alley on one side of the street, and on the other, a recently renovated orphanage with a beautiful new wall facing out toward the street.
You know what? I'm gonna walk around to the entrance of that orphanage, and I'm walking in.
Okay. Yeah, so you walk around, make your way in, and you see around this time, I think you'd see a large number of the children all kind of seated around the large dining tables. It is about dinner time, and so they all seem to be digging in pretty voraciously.
All right. Is there? I don't. This is not like a formal thing. It's just like a house with a bunch of orphans in it, right?
I mean, more or less. It's not like a prep school or anything. It's pretty minimal.
Does it look like there's anybody that's in charge, like somebody walking around, making sure the kids are not getting into trouble, or?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few adults present. You see a couple of them at the far end of the room behind a counter. They look to be the ones like serving the food and all that sort of thing. And then in this room of probably 40 to 50 kids, you see like two adults kind of patrolling around, for lack of a better term, just kind of keeping a watchful eye over the kids, making sure nothing crazy breaks out. There's kind of a middle-aged, chubby human male, this like scruffy like salt and pepper beard thing going on, and bald head. And then you also see a kind of older, beginning to kind of take on that hunchback form, halfling woman. She's got like, the kind of long braided white hair. She actually walks with like this kind of gnarly little walking stick thing.
And you said they're all humans other than the one halfling?
The people working there, yeah. I mean, there are kids of various races, but
Yeah. Okay. I'll approach the male.
okay. And yeah, I think you see him looking around, and you see him like reach down to the like between a couple of the kids and pull out a looks like a mouse. Looks like maybe one of them was keeping a mouse as a pet or something and trying to slip it some scraps.
All right. Well, I will walk up to him and say, sorry to bother you. I just happened to be walking by and I noticed that this place had some renovations done.
He says, "Yeah, you're not a local, huh? Didn't hear about the fire?"
Well, I did. But I just happened to be helping out in Drake's Landing recently. And I couldn't help but stop by and, just, hey, you know what, here. And I'll reach in my pocket and I'll pull out 100 gold and I'll give it to him, and I'll say, you know, unfortunately I've been gone for most of that time, but I wanted to help help pay for some of the costs to renovate this. I've come into a bit of money recently and just wanted to do something nice to help out.
He just drops the mouse. It kind of scurries off under the table.
Can I mage hand to grab the mouse?
Sure. Yeah, but let's say you catch the mouse with the mage hand.
I want a sleight of hand to slide it back to the kid.
All right. Yeah, just go ahead and make a regular sleight of hand check. Okay. Yeah, so I think you see the kid like jump a little bit, but then you place the mouse back on his thigh, kind of like in his lap, out of sight. But
Yeah, I'll just catch his eye and give him a wink.
Okay.
And I'll say, unfortunately, right now this is all that I have. But hopefully this will help aid in whatever way that it can.
And the guy looks like incredulous, looking at the amount of money you're handing over. It takes him a second to kind of collect himself, but then I think he just says, "Well, Osprum's blessings on you. This is incredible. Thank you."
Well, it's like, as I said, we've recently come into a good sum of money, and I felt almost like that it's not all ours. So it's I'm gonna disperse it as I can.
I did follow him into the orphanage.
Is this an orphanage you guys burned down?
Yes.
It might be.
So
Seems like you owe him more than you gave him.
I'm pretty sure that wall did not cost 100 gold.
well, in my defense, the 25 silver that we have is kind of a group thing. So once we split it up, I will probably come back. But I don't want to give everybody else's money away too. So
Yeah, and I think the guy turns around to go and probably lock up the money somewhere, but then he pauses, comes back, and says, "What's your name?"
my name is Togar Hammerstriker.
Right. Well, and he kind of hefts the big sack of coins into one arm, kind of cradling it, and holds out a hand and just says, "Togar Hammerstriker, pleasure to meet you."
You are?
And as he shakes your hand, he says, "My name's Kadeen."
Kadeen. Kadeen?
Please hold.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll say, well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Kadeen. I'll be in town probably for another day or two, but if you're ever, if you or any of the people from here are ever in Thogladar and need in need of a friendly face or a friendly warm meal, just tell them to look up Togar. I have a blacksmith shop there, and I would definitely be willing to help out in any way I can to, if anything happens to this place.
Yeah, I think he just says, "Well, thank you. I mean, you've already helped so much, but I'll be sure to do that. Have a blessed night." And he turns around to, go stash his money.
So, you too, and I'll turn around and I guess I'm gonna probably end up bumping into Maya because I didn't realize she followed me.
Well, I probably would have moved.
Oh. Well, I will turn around and be surprised at seeing Maya there and go, you saw that?
Yeah.
Oh. I felt like it was only right.
I'm not judging you.
I can never tell with you. And I'll just kind of walk past her and walk out.
I mean, it's good to donate money. He left, so I can't continue talking to him.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird thing for Togar. Like, especially around, like, friends. It's weird.
Friends are weird.
Yeah. So, I'll head back out and say, alright, well, everything's good on this end. So shall we go get a room and then see if we can go exchange, if not spend some of this money?
Sure.
Everybody else good with that?
Yeah.
Speaking of money, kind of broke.
Slumming?
Well, what happened to the money he paid? Did he not pay you for killing that lady?
He paid him in his freedom.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it.
Well, I'll cover your room since you did help us get out. It's the least I can do, but
If you want, I can stay with you.
I'm okay. Bungdo and I usually bunk together. It's not anything against you. It's just it's a little soon to have lost a member and gained another one. So just forgive me that I'm not as trusting.
I understand.
So, I guess during that talk, I'm heading towards the Gleaming Eagle.
Okay. And yeah, it's not long before you make it to the center of town. Perrin's not like a sprawling metropolis by any means. So yeah, you all walk in to the Gleaming Eagle, and for probably I would say the majority of the party, it's a familiar and welcome sight. Nice, cozy place where you see the various classes of Perrin kind of mingling here at the end of the day. There are people wearing all sorts of attire from who are very clearly like dock workers and fishermen, all the way up to what must be nobles, just given the over-the-top nature of their dress. Everyone seems to be enjoying the place all the same and kind of not letting those barriers kind of come between them.
I guess I will walk up to the bar and who's the barkeep?
Well, I don't know that you ever got this gentleman's name, but he is the same one that was here the very first night that the group assembled and began trying to track down the nature of what was going on aboard the Oakhart all those months ago.
Oh. Okay, so this is the place we originally met up.
Yeah, this was scene 1 of the campaign. Happened in this building.
Wow. Okay. I will walk up to the bar, and hoping he doesn't notice me, or, recognize me for that, I'll
Mhm.
say, what kind of ales do you have?
And he, he's taking a minute, just, kind of serving everyone else and making sure that everything is taken care of just so. And he says, well, we've got a number of smaller brews, a few local. If you're interested in some local craft, we've got a nice Perrin Amber just tapped earlier today. And if you're looking for something that'll kind of keep you going through the night, maybe you just go for a session ale, another Perrin.
You know what? I'll try one of each.
All right.
Also, do you happen to have any rooms available?
He says, well, as of a few hours ago, we do. I don't know if you've heard, but Drake's Landing is safe again? Or at least livable?
Yeah, we just came from Drake's Landing. We were at Ground Zero. So, we're a
Holy
little
shit.
tired. Yeah. We're a little tired. We're looking for a rest. It's been a while since we've slept in a real bed.
Well, by all means. He reaches under the counter and produces, what are you guys looking for? 3 rooms, so 3 keys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and so he does that, and let's see, I think for 3 rooms at the Gleaming Eagle, you're looking at like 1 gold, 5 silver.
Done.
Okay.
I got it.
Want to chime in and say, from what I heard, this group here is the one that saved the town.
He kind of raises an eyebrow and looks over at Togar like, is he telling the truth?
I mean, a little, I guess. There was help from Ramsgate. There was help from others, but we did. Our group did delve into the castle that had popped up there, and bad things were going on in there. But for the most part, it seems to be taken care of.
Well, I'll tell you what, friend. You and your group can stay the night, have as many drinks as you like, and maybe when you had some time to decompress, you can share a story or two.
Well, I can definitely do that. I may be here for a couple days at least. You know, Innes Blackwell, just out of town.
Oh, everyone knows Lord Blackwell.
Yes, I've actually had gone to Drake's Landing originally, and we had gone on business for him. And he has he actually brought us back. So.
Well, I'm just glad someone made it out of that hellhole in one piece. It sounded like it was pretty rough up there for, well, a long time.
Yeah, it was definitely something.
All right. Well, I'm sure you don't want to talk about that. You just got out of the shit. Let me get you your drinks and let you relax a little bit. All right.
All right.
He heads back behind the bar and comes back with the 2 mugs in his hand, and we'll say he takes orders from everybody else. And I mean, if you guys have anything you want to do before bed, we can skip to you guys seated at a table. Otherwise, we can just kind of montage it.
Well, we do have to split up this money, so we probably should sit at a table and split this up.
How about if we want to get a place to stay, like a permanent place, we should split it up after that.
Yeah, well, we need to consolidate and figure out what we have, too.
Well, we can do that, at least.
Yeah. And then, did we want to go try to hit up a shop and sell some stuff, too? Because I've got, like, a bunch of shit. I've got a staff, I've got some daggers, I've got some armor. We got all kinds of shit that we could sell.
I'm not sure how many places will be open this late at night.
Yeah, maybe we can go tomorrow. And then I look at both hands that I have. Each hand has a drink in it. Yeah, let's just go tomorrow, and I just down one and start chugging the other one.
What was that as I disconnected from computer freeze?
What was the last thing you heard?
We do have to split up, and then that was it.
We're
Split
drinking.
up. Yeah, split up gold. Maybe at least figure out how much you have first. Maybe look into buying what sounds like it'll amount to like a clan or guild hall kind of thing. I don't know. However you guys want to set it up, like a house in Perrin, basically.
Can I be a part of this?
Well, if you prove your mettle, then I don't see why not, but...
Like how he's the newbie.
Where's Vax, the conch man, the head?
Oh, don't worry, that's coming.
Well, we could maybe get a place with guest rooms.
With what?
There you go.
Guest rooms.
Who's that?
All right.
So, yeah. I didn't understand what she said, but you said guest rooms.
Guest rooms?
Yeah, maybe you
Okay.
could get a place with guest rooms.
Gotcha. I thought she was talking about a name, and I was like, huh? What?
Get a place called guest rooms.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well then, let's go up to a room and find out how much we have.
Oh. Yeah, okay. We'll
I'm
go
good
up
at keeping track of inventory if we need help.
Well, we've got plenty of stuff. We can maybe try to divide it up so that... And as I slump the backpack off my shoulder, and it just crashes with like a big... on the floor. It's like, oh man, my back.
Where's what's his name sleeping?
Ooh.
What's
Oh.
his name? Are we talking about Norganoth?
Norganoth?
Yes.
Oh shit. I forgot he was with us.
I
Has he
mean,
been-
he has all of Trogdor's stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think if Chance is okay with it, he's willing to bunk with you. Otherwise, he can get a place. I mean,
I'm fine with it.
okay.
In
Gosh,
a
this is
strange,
awkward.
reincarnated way.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you have 3 rooms and 2 people in each. It works out pretty well.
Alright. As is... If nobody else is doing anything... are we actually going to sit down and sort it out, or are we just going to RP that we sorted it out?
I mean,
Well,
honestly, I have no idea how much we all have together.
yeah, you're actually
So-
gonna have to sort it out at some point. So I guess it might as well
Yeah.
be now, right?
Yeah. Okay.
This is totally the shopkeeping and getting your shit together episode, but
Whoa.
you know, it happens.
I mean, let's look at it this way. We just got out of, like, constant battling for for the
It's
last
true.
10,
Like
10
a week.
sessions or so.
It's true.
So,
Like a week in game time.
something like that. Alright, well, I guess we'll go into a room and I'll reach in the bag and pull out this big heaping pile of silver. And I have 2,520 silver.
Go ahead, like 3,500 silver.
Let me grab a piece of paper and a pen.
I can't see my character sheet for him anymore.
Right in front of
It's
your
deleted.
computer. Why do you need a piece of paper and pen?
Yeah.
Because it's easier to write down quickly. Okay, how
Actually,
much do you have?
I'm gonna bring back Trogdor's sheet so we can look at his inventory here.
Okay, what do people have?
2520 silver.
25, 20. Silver. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, crap. This is bleeding all over me. Okay.
And I'll throw this ancient armor in the pile too. I don't know where the fuck I got it, but I got ancient armor.
That's from the animated armor in the caves.
Oh, yep.
I can let you sell that yourself.
Yeah, okay. I'll pick it back up then.
Okay. I have 35, 25 silver. Okay. And what did Trogdor have?
He had 3,507 silver pieces.
3,507?
Yeah. One, I don't remember what EP is.
Electrum piece.
Yeah,
What?
How did you get an electrum piece?
I don't remember. 149 gold. And
Wait. Wait, how much was the 3507? What was that? Was that
Silver.
platinum? Oh, silver.
3507 platinum.
I have it written on gold. Okay, 3507
Fuck.
silver. How much gold?
149.
149 gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I thought we
80
had-
platinum.
Bungdo goes, "Wait a second! Here!" And he empties his bag of holding of the some 1,000-something gold.
How much gold does he have?
Eric, you'll have to check. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah, so and again, this isn't like divided out, so who knows how much of it is his, how much of it is the party's. But Bungdo has in his possession 100 silver.
I'm assuming the
2,000
silver is his.
Probably. The gold is probably not though, because there's 2,411 gold.
I think we gave him 2,000 on the dot. So that would be. If I had to guess, I know we gave him an even number.
Okay.
So 2,000 of that is the group's.
Okay. And yeah, probably the platinum is his too. Yeah.
Yeah.
From the whole Thogladar thing.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just go even numbers, make it easier. Like,
Mm-hmm. So 2,000 gold from him.
And then.
Okay.
Didn't we have some more gold in the bag of holding too?
Yeah. Okay. I can get that too. Gosh, I am bleeding everywhere. Not me, the pen I'm using is bleeding.
Would you like a band-aid for it?
Oh yeah, there's another 1k gold in Bungdo's bag of holding. So.
So that's another 1,000 gold. So it's 3,000 gold he has?
Yeah.
Okay. Plus. Okay. So let's start with platinum pieces. Is that everything?
No.
You have some?
Yeah.
What do you have?
I have 2,500 silver.
Okay, now is that everything?
Yeah. For me at least.
Look at you guys living like mid-level characters.
Okay, everyone good?
Mhm.
Okay. That brings us up to a total of 910 platinum. One, was it Electrum or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I believe the Electrum, Gold, and Platinum was Trogdor's, but I don't know.
Trogdor's dead, so we're taking it. I mean, we're not
That's
gonna
fucking
give
harsh.
it back to him. I mean, well, it's not like, what else are we gonna do with it?
He's dead. It's ours now.
Does he have any family?
I mean,
You
if
don't know.
he has the children,
He doesn't have a family. At least that we know of. Trogdor's not here, he's dead.
oops. Yeah, if you never told us you had a family, then sucks to be you.
I mean, I know he has
Lucky, you're
it.
so kind.
But
Well, hey,
everyone
we
in
didn't
the group
challenge a
likes
god to a
it.
1v1.
This is not Maya. She's just trying to calculate money.
This is purely me talking.
Becca wants to make sure we know her character is nicer than she is.
Yeah. Okay, we have a lot of money,
Yeah.
so
So you said we had 900 something platinum worth?
910. So we have 1 Electrum, 910 platinum, 7,621 gold, and 19,057 silver.
Holy Christ. That's a lot of fucking money.
Gosh,
Alright.
I have to wash my hands. I'll be back and make a mess.
It's everywhere. It's in my eye.
Well, yeah, so cool. How are we dispersing this again? Can we just say we put it all in a pile and just kind of pick out of it what, you know?
Were we gonna like buy a house or something?
Yeah.
That was discussed.
We can just,
It was cutting out a lot for me when you were talking about that, so I just have a vague idea of what's happening.
Yeah, the house thing definitely seems like it was still on the table.
I'm going to help Bungdo pull all the rope out of the bag, out of his bag. And I'll say,
Okay.
well, I'll say, hey Bungdo, why don't you come with me and you and I can go talk to Blackwell in the morning to give him a little bit more info on our whole deal that we're making.
Okay.
And, you know, on this business thing, and we can also look into getting a house or a place for us to store all of our stuff.
I think Bungdo is amenable to that. And as a side note, we could probably work some stuff out between sessions as to how that meeting goes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Cool.
You and I said for how much platinum Trogdor had?
No.
Well, he had 80.
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
No, we had that earlier. Unless 2 people had 80. So that's what I added on top of what was in the bag of holding.
No, we're good. No.
Erase his monies from his inventory.
Hey Maya, you think we should get rid of
Yes.
some of those starfruit? Or at least do something with them? Because we don't need pounds and pounds and pounds of starfruit now.
Probably.
We don't need it now, we needed it earlier.
Yeah.
Totally.
We didn't need it, but Trogdor wanted it, so. All right. How much weight in starfruit did we have?
We have currently listed 63.6 pounds of starfruit.
63 pounds of starfruit. That is fucking excessive. All right.
Really?
So yeah, I'll help you clean up a bag of holding of all the starfruit, and then
I
we can
will
put like 10
bring
pounds
it.
back.
No. Let's bring it to the orphanage.
Well, I was gonna say we can take it and give it to either the hungry or orphanage, but yeah.
I just beat you to it. Ha
You
ha
did.
ha.
So yeah, or is that something you want to do tomorrow? Do you want to run it by there and drop that off, or do you want me to?
I don't care. Either one of us.
Well, you could probably do that while I'm going to talk to Blackwell.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Alright, I guess I will head to mine and Bungo's room and chill.
Cool.
I am gonna go downstairs and get a bottle of rum and proceed to drink it.
Indeed.
Probably up in my room with Lilith.
What? I was gonna go down and join you.
Oh, okay. Well, you can come in. Well, either way, we'll drink together.
And
just-
we can gamble.
Oh, okay.
I pull out the jug and Bungo and I just sit in the room and just get absolutely shit faced off of ale from the jug.
Okay.
So
And yeah, I think if Chance goes with Norganoth to the third room, he sees Norganoth kind of walks into the room, and first thing he does is kneel next to whichever bed ends up being his, and you hear him saying a quiet prayer before, after doing that and kind of giving Chance a quick nod, just climbing in bed and trying to sleep.
Was he carrying in like Kago's armor and other stuff?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit in bed for just a few minutes, pondering to myself about the new adventures, and then I'll go to bed.
Okay. And so you all drift into a nice, peaceful sleep and gain the benefits of a long rest. And wake up the next morning, ready to do whatever it is you're doing.
I'm going to do some lovely stretches to clear my head.
Hangover cure.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I will deliver, lots and lots of starfruit to the orphanage.
Yeah, and you drop all that off, and I think Kadeen recognizes you as the one who was with Togar, and as you bring in this big old bag of starfruit, and he just lets you kind of disperse it to the kids, at least as much as they'll take, and he's kind of ready to take the rest, back behind the counter or whatever, like into the kitchens. And I think you hear all kinds of responses from the kids, from like, "Oh, I love starfruit," to "What is this?" But yeah. So you feed some orphans, and at least for the whole time you're there, you don't see any food fights or anything breaking out. So it seems to be going all right. Yeah. And you are once again profusely thanked for your generosity. And yeah, so I think we can gloss over the finer details of Togar and Bungdo's meeting with Blackwell until I have a chance to have some back and forth message time with Phil, figure out what he's going for the business.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if Togar has anything Togar specific that he wants to deal with, we can talk through that.
Well, part of it was just I want to start producing, essentially producing like bags of holding, stuff like that. Just little minor alchemist stuff. Or not alchemist, artificer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm not quite there yet in terms of like actual level, but it's more discussion of like, can I get training to be able to create these items? I'm really close. I just need to figure out a few more things, stuff like that, and then trying to get some capital underneath me to be able to make and produce, and then through him possibly either sell them or through him get the trade business of Bungdo's up and running and sell it through the trade business.
Okay. Yeah, and I think all of that's pretty reasonable. I mean, again, we'll talk specific terms and kind of how everything fits together a little later. But yeah. So no, that's fine.
Well, and I figured I could use that as a way to branch out with my own business, my own like smithing business, and sell completed pieces that don't sell as well in Thogladar. Send them out and get them sold elsewhere.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Anything that Chance or Lilith would like to do as everyone else is kind of occupied in the morning?
I was thinking I would just go to the orphanage with Maya and help him Starfruit up.
Okay.
And not look scary.
No, I'd still look scary.
Oh, I did have one other thing too. I forgot about. I don't know why I forgot. I also want to pop the question of, hey Blackwell, do you happen to know of any real estate up for sale, either in Perrin or in surrounding area of Perrin? We've recently got a bit of money and are looking to maybe get a base of operations to kind of operate out of.
Yeah, and he says, well, I do have a number of contacts locally and beyond. One thing I might suggest to you, and I will attempt to do so tastefully, but difficult to do so given the subject matter. There is a great deal of likely unclaimed real estate to be had in Drake's Landing. I'm not sure if that's something that you would be interested in, but I know I personally will be moving a number of my business ventures up in that direction going forward.
I might hitch a ride with you out there, if you don't mind. That sounds like a very opportunistic business venture and a great place to nab a good piece of land to start up, a secondary business or start up a new blacksmith.
Indeed. But if you do have your heart set on a residence in Perrin, I'm sure that could be arranged as well.
Well, I just figured I'd, get your opinion on it, but I do have to talk with the rest of the group about it, but I think they'll be all for going back to Drake's Landing for this.
Very well.
So, alright, now we can, sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I think I might need to take a break because we have a very concerned Sadie who is bugging the shit out of me.
Alright, that'll work.
Lock her in the bathroom.
Oh,
Yep.
stop it. We're gonna lock you in the bathroom. Alright,
Yep.
Poor puppy.
so we will be back in a few. Then.